Have you ever done storyboards for any of your stuff?
I can't draw.
Well,
and I know that, and I know you don't need to draw to do storyboards.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like
I have done very interestingly detailed shot lists.
Yeah.
So, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't storyboarded it.
Well, yeah, that's interesting because I'm the same way. Of like, I don't think I've really ever done a storyboard. Same thing. I can't draw. Why is that just a theme among anyone who holds a camera? We just can't draw.
Can't draw.
No, I'm horrific. I wonder. I wonder who would lose. If
I would. Was there a loser? Because I would not win.
We should do one time. We should do like a draw where James gives us a prompt.
Oh my god! We'll have to draw the scene. It'd be terrible.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
I couldn't even draw a scene from an existing movie. Even if I looked at the frame and then I had to draw that frame, I couldn't draw it.
Yeah. No. Same. Oh my god! Don't even get me started.
But I could describe it. I could describe it.
Yeah.
Shit at
lusciously.
It. Yeah.
Lusciously.
Lusciously. I write lusciously.
I don't even know what that means. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Again, you know, it's like everything. There are no freaking rules.
Yeah.
It's a good thing and a bad thing because it's like sometimes you just don't know what to do. But I think you just do what's easiest for you. And depending on the size crew you're working with, there might be a better way to do it or not. But I mean, you don't have to do storyboards.
No.
I mean, I looked up just for some inspiration to see what other people in the industry did. And Scorsese said he just likes to scribble stuff out. Like he's not a good drawer.
I like to scribble.
Figures,
I like to scribble on the script.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, that too. And we all know Werner Herzog's stance on storyboards.
I love Werner Herzog.
Do you know what he says about storyboards?
No, but
I think he says like they hinder creativity or something because they tie you down to stuff. Well, not even logistically.
Yeah,
like creatively. Once you have an idea in your head, he's like, no. Like, have a clean slate always so that ideas can come to you. And you don't have a predisposition to go one way or the other
while you're on set.
Which is like, I don't know. He's an interesting character, so you can take that with a grain of salt. But I mean, basically, it's whatever comes naturally to you. I'm the same way as you are. I like to do very, very detailed shot lists. And I think at the very least, for any film, 1 week or 1 year should have some form of shot list because, that can be the whole creative outline for, the look you're going for, but it's also logistically important to be able to schedule.
Yes.
Because as you soon find out, if you're working on any kind of camera with multiple lenses, you're going to have to do what's called, there's lighting setups and there's setups that are specific for lenses. And you want to try to do those at the same time so that you don't have to do a shot, switch a lens, do a shot, switch a lens. You want to group things together to optimize time.
I think it's important that when you're creating a movie in a short time span that you're writing your shot list, but you're also writing it with the edit in mind where you're able to, you're actually writing the flow of the movie through and through in your head as clearly and concisely as possible so that when you're shooting, just so you can be more efficient when you're shooting, I think is important. I understand what you're saying with like clumping things together when you're shooting coverage and you're shooting all your tights and your mediums.
Exactly.
And
that's just logistics.
And you're clumping this,
and that's something that is learned too. I think back in our earliest short films, we had shot lists. They're not nearly as detailed or good as they are today because it's part of the learning process. But I think the only reason we started doing them was because our guys that we worked with that were above us, 2 years above us, were doing it. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I guess you do need that. And it's like, well, yeah, need is a strong word, sure, because whatever level you're working at, you can run and gun something and have no problem. But to cover all your bases properly, I think you need some kind of formal sheet.
When we did our latest Star Wars movie, Havoc, I had written there's a script, there's an outline, there's like what we had to do for the day. There's a certain, the whole like flow of the movie was written out / in my head. It was there, but it wasn't as detailed written. It's like, well, I need to do this. It was basically, I had written the edit out of all the action of what's supposed to happen.
But you didn't know what the shots were.
But I didn't know what the shots were.
Yeah, because we made them up that
because
day.
we made them up that day. But I mean, it's done intentionally. For us, it's done intentionally that way. Same with when we did Nathan Danger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I think a lot of people have that sense of, I talked to a lot of other DPs that, like you were saying, shoot with the edit in mind. And it's, I mean, for me, it's easy because I'm equal parts director of photography and editor.
Yeah.
So a lot of my stuff that I shoot, I also go and I edit. So when you're shooting something, you're kind of 3 steps ahead in your mind of like, you can kind of form like a mental library of what you have. And, even though, you're probably going to forget some things, you have the general structure of like, is this cut going to work? And you can see it in your head. So I think a lot of people have that.
Well, yeah. I mean, in that case, if you can't see those things, then maybe most likely
just pick a different career. I thought that's what you were going to say.
No, quit the industry as entirely. No, I was going to say then you're probably...
If you can't see that, just leave.
Just leave. If you can't think that way, like me and Chris, you might as well just give up. No, I was going to say that if you don't think that way, you probably don't have experience editing.
Right.
And therefore you probably would be working with an editor. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like then you'd probably be working with an editor who's going to be editing your movie.
Well, anyway, in any case, it's good to think about that.
Yeah.
It's not just if a shot looks good. It's will it complement what came
before and what comes after,
or what comes after. Yeah. Because that's what flow is in a lot of ways.
Yeah, when we do our fight stuff, we know exactly. It's all about
like the action stuff. Yeah,
what just came before, what's coming after, where are we, where's the characters, where was the camera last, where should I be, what's the next thing, where's the action, where do I need to be to capture this or that, and like. But even then, if you're like, well, I was over here and I got to be over here, and I'll say, well, no, like, I need you to be over here because I need to see this because this important thing is going to happen in the action, so we got to get to here.
Yeah, you always point out those little things that I'll already have a shot in mind of where to go next, and you'll be like, well, actually, this happens this way, and I do a certain move with my left hand turned away from you,
right?
And then I'll be like, well, shit.
yeah. So then we'll figure it out. But like
usually that stuff is avoided ahead of time, but sometimes you run into that situation where well, I just explained that in one of the BTSs where I was like, I had to get to the other shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise that's a great example actually, where I was all set up to not break the 180 rule and to be on this one plane of the fight. And then you said to me, as actually the first move of this next section of choreography happens on this side. And if you stay on the plane you're on, you're not going to see it. So I was like, oh, crap. All right. Well, if we just jump cut to Dan's right shoulder on the next thing, it's going to look funny because I'm thinking about the edit.
Yes.
I'm thinking if I go from this to over here, it's going to feel. That's the thing, is it might not look bad, but it might feel bad.
Right.
You might lose people a little bit. So instead we came up with that move that comes across the shoulder so that it's a fluid moment. I don't know, if you want to see what I'm talking about, you can check out the Havoc BTS on Helium Turtle Studios, but
watch it.
Yeah, watch it. It's really entertaining.
It's really cool. And then watch the full movie too. The full movie.
It's very informative. Anyway, what was I just gonna say? Okay, so this brings up another good thing I wanted to talk about, actually. Not only did I want to talk about it, but I think with these last couple of projects have really been thinking about it. Of when we do the action stuff, it's really standard practice for me and you to shoot chronologically.
Yeah.
Meaning we shoot at the beginning and we do the second shots with usually. Except for some inserts.
Right.
Stuff like that. So not only does that help the actors stay in the same, and this is for action and drama, I think. Not only does it help the actors have a really good understanding of the progression of the story, but camera-wise, you can do the edit in your head as you go, which is what we've been doing with the action stuff. And I was looking up, is that like, can you do that? Like, I mean, I know we do it, but is that normal? But basically what I found in my research, I don't know if it was Fincher that likes to shoot chronologically. One of the big directors likes to do things chronologically because of the reasons I just spoke about.
Because of the emotional,
because of the continuity of scene, the actors being in the right headspace, you know, for big budget movies, you know, on the whole. You know, it just goes to show you that it's like, you know, there is a reason for doing it that way. You know, it's not just you know, it doesn't have to be so standardized. You don't have to take chunks and like do it all out of order.
No, I feel like it would help.
Can you, James? Actually, can you try and look that up?
What?
Actually, you know, while we're on this, why don't you want to just take a quick break?
Oh, okay.
Because I want to see what this turns up. All right, we'll be right back. All right, so that's interesting. James just said The Shining as well as E.T.
Beautiful Mind.
were shot. A Beautiful Mind too, huh? That's an interesting one.
It was written in 2 days. Is that what you just said?
No,
no,
shot chronologically.
Shot chronologically.
Yeah, but all of these movies that I'm saying are shot in chronological order.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And to have, you know, Spielberg on that list, that's something.
Platoon.
At the height of summer blockbusters with E.T., right? So that's pretty interesting. See, yeah, there's something to
I
it.
think Ferris Bueller's Day Off as well.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, for the stuff we do, the action stuff, I think it definitely makes more sense.
Yes.
Because it's just it would be so hard to shoot out of order. A lot of the self-contained, very short stuff that we do would be very hard to do out of order. I think if this was a bigger, you know, movie, obviously that entire film would be a scene.
Yes.
Which could be done out of order with other scenes.
We did.
So that's the big difference is scale.
Yeah. Because we did shoot. I mean, we shot Havoc technically out of order because of availability of actors.
That's technically true.
We started off with we started off in the middle of the movie in a fight scene, but we
they were
did
very segmented.
Everything was segmented and contained within itself. Just the way I divided up all the logistics of it.
Well, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to point it out that that it's another one of those creative processes that can kind of be malleable. You know,
I couldn't imagine shooting Date Night out of order.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. To do the comedy first,
couldn't imagine doing that out of order.
Yeah, that Date Night was a short that we did where the first half of the film kind of is very, very horror. You know, very horror vibes.
Supposed to be very dark.
Mike's supposed to be a serial killer, and he's, you know, kidnapped Jackie and tied her up. And
thanks, Adam Sandler.
The whole thing about halfway through, it winds up being the story flips, and it winds up being a comedy because you find out that this is actually a couple doing some like
sexual
crazy
fantasy,
bondage
role play,
fantasy stuff, and you know, Mike's doing it wrong because he's not being good enough serial killer.
I'm not an actual killer, so I'm really bad.
So anyway, yeah, if we did that backwards, it would, you know, I think it was easy for you guys to start in, like, especially for Jackie, you know, she has to be like terrified and afraid.
Yeah. And
it's like to start with that, I think, and then I think once you jump into the comedy, you guys feel the awkwardness more.
Yeah.
Of like,
oh, definitely.
Because you're coming from something so dark and all of a sudden it's light. Whereas if you went from light to dark, it would be a little bit harder to get in the zone.
It'd be harder for me because I think in a few times in the movie, I would try to jump back and forth between like dark Mike and then like normal Mike.
Dark Mike.
Yeah. And so
collect all versions of Mike today. I got a holographic one.
Remember
Dark
holographic
Mike? Pokemon cards?
I remember. Yeah, I would have been. That would have been the Team Rocket Dark Mike.
Yeah. You used to have a Pokemon card collection?
Oh my god, yeah, I still have them.
You still have yours?
Yeah. So I never.
Yeah. We had a big book that we sold for like $10. I'm mad.
Really? I had
a long time ago.
Big ass binder.
Yeah.
Few binders.
Yeah, everyone had the binders, yeah.
I had binders, but I would never put the holograms in the binders. I put the holograms in hard sleeves and put those in a tin. I collected Pokemon cards, but I never played Pokemon.
Oh yeah, no,
Never played
same.
the game. Never
yeah,
played.
Yeah. No, I was a collector too.
but I played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, James is a big Yu-Gi-Oh.
Played
fan.
Yu-Gi-Oh. I played a lot of Toys R Us tournaments.
Yeah.
No
Yu-Gi-Oh.
kidding.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I
Hero.
loved Yu-Gi-Oh.
Dude.
Yep.
Mike freaking-
I play it on my phone.
Oh, Duel Links?
James, yeah,
you
James.
have it?
Yeah, I did. I
Damn.
went off the phone and I just started buying the cards. Me and Thor. Okay, prop preference to Thor. Every time we name drop somebody, his name's not actually Thor. It's Chris. It's another Chris, but we call him.
But he has
Thor
a
because he looks like
luscious
Thor.
head of hair.
Beautiful blonde hair.
Yeah.
And giant, gorgeous muscles.
Do you think if I say luscious again at some point in the podcast, we should like ring a bell or something?
Luscious and lavish.
Delicious.
Lavish.
Delicious. Did you say lavish before?
I don't think I said. I think I just said luscious.
Oh.
I don't think I've ever said. Anyway,
I've never said lavish
I've never
in my
said-
life. I've never said that word. How dare you?
Good luck getting out of that one.
well, you can't prove it.
I didn't see nothing. I didn't say nothing. You can't prove nothing.